What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete strategy. I am Pete. I'm a top player in Risk, Global Domination, a daily show on YouTube. I do weekday streams on Twitch. If you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to the channels and come along the ride with me. This is Yggdrasil, the World Tree. The first from the Viking Legends map pack. We go dead last, and we're playing as Magenta. We spawn with a 7, so Alfheimer it is, I guess. Can we bully blue out of here? Spawn with fully 11 troops and one of the bonuses. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 bonuses, and they're all worth +2 except the one in the middle. It's worth +6. Yellow has bought it on the first round, but they did ready up. And okay, take that as it comes. I'm kind of blocking. Need a little bit of a littler Pete today. Okay, blue would like the Biono in the middle. No, he wouldn't. He would like to go off to the side. Eh? Do I roll a 6 turn 1 to take a +2? Okay. It's an interesting board. How many territories are on Yggdrasil, the World Tree? It's not how it's spelled. YGG. Jesus. Yggdrasil, the World Tree is a 42 territory map. Exactly the same as Classic. A fairly symmetrical design. We have an outer ring. Some of it connects. Some of it doesn't. The actual connectome of the board, like this. It's not really a ring. Some of these +2s are guardable from a single position. Some of them aren't. Ideally, I want to be in multiple locations. I'm going to lose that exterior 3. So adding too much to it doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm going to chip take off the 5. So I'm only expecting to be in 2 places on this board. My main position, which is 7 and 8. My ancillary position on the left. I don't think this 3 lives much longer, not with the magenta stack threatening it. Okay, yellow's a bot. Keep in mind, bot's going to hit shit. Bot's going to take a bonus, sure. Okay. So far, bot's playing normal/aggressive. That's what you expect to see from the bot. Do our Q&A question early. So this one comes from Risky Moverino. It's a long one, so hold on to your butts. Hey, Pete, I'm assuming you're familiar with the work of Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Yes. So maybe you can get this point across better. I shall try. He basically stated that democracy in the modern world is intrinsically flawed due to the excessive number of high people, which makes it impossible for every voice to be heard, and therefore anyone to care about strangers' needs. Okay, yeah, there would be a much better way to rephrase that. This creates uninvolvement and abuse, a lose-lose game for everyone involved. He said that the only societies in history where true democracy are possible would be the ancient Greek polis or the Swiss cantons, things that are small enough for those systems of government to work. This is consistent with how our brains have evolved. Lost my place. Being able to truly know and give a damn of up to about 150 people in our lives. Yeah, there's like an ape tribal thing where we are only genuinely able to care about and know that many people. Okay, so white is busting to get a +2. They're going to guard the bot inside of them. Dude, I hope that bot sets inside of you then. Okay, blue's going to make me smoke a 6. Blue's going to make me smoke a 6 to get a card. So 150, which is the max size of a primitive human tribe. Since I read about this in high school, I've never let go of the thought that mass society is the cause of alienation, basically individual unhappiness. I also think that the feeling of powerlessness towards global issues makes people only really care about their immediate surroundings, taking away from their completion as individuals who would primarily want to have a real say and a real role about how things go in their tribe, and a real drive to coordinate their individual actions with a societal good. Example, I do recycle, but I feel like nothing would change if I didn't. What's my best card? With the red 2. Stay in 2 places. Stay in 2 places is important. Yeah, we're not punished. I don't need a +2. +2 does not matter. Finally, because of this, I can't help but think that happiness in modern society is unachievable. So you're extending it not just to Rousseau's position about democracy, but now to happiness. True happiness can only be achieved in a natural environment, in air quotes, the one in which we evolved to avoid any alienation. Is it a pessimistic thought? Yes. And one that has been haunting me forever. I guess I'm asking you, can you help me invalidate it? I absolutely can. So you're, I would say there are a number of nested logical fallacies in this paragraph. The first thing, before I get into it, I would really just like to remind everyone, if you're going to be asking Q&A questions, do yourself, do me, and do the viewers a favor and edit for clarity, brevity, and coherence. Would be very much appreciated. So there's a lot here to talk about. Let me see if I can digest Rousseau's position first and foremost. So what Rousseau is talking about, RE alienation, is that we find ourselves as meaningless cogs in a machine once the size of our culture, our society, our tribe gets too large, such that we are not designed to deal with that number of people. Okay? I would argue that it is more of a multivariant problem than simply number of people. Number of people is a factor of the equation, but it is not the whole story. So looking at it as there are too many people is not only overly simplistic, but it's kind of dumb, because any monovariant solution to there are too many people means you got to get rid of some people. And do you want to be one of those people who's got to be gotten rid of? You can immediately see why it's stupid, and you can immediately see how that is a terrible line of thinking, right? To presume that I do not matter or you do not matter, or a third person who we are discussing, they are the extraneous one, right? That's absurd. You can immediately see that it's absurd. So we don't want to hang out there as a solution very long, right? The idea that there are too many people, the idea that that exists conceptually, is actually very telling of how sick or how horribly broken our society is. Because if you were to design a society from scratch, one of the first things you would do would be to say, one of the first questions you would ask would be to say, how do I design a society such that it benefits all of its citizens, right? Such that all of its citizens would want to and would choose to live in it, would be the most well off in it, right? If you were trying to design the best society, these would be the questions you would ask, right? Whereas the question we are asking, if we talk about human beings as just a numerical metric, the question we're asking is, what are we going to do with all of these useless people, right? And you're not useless. And you also don't need to justify your existence. Despite what advertising might tell you. You don't need to call. This guy's not giving me any cards. I can migrate the pink stack to the middle. Blue, purple. Yeah, blue's playing very weird. Seems like a lot of players on this board are looking to go whole hog on their +2s. Blue's behavior is just basically asking to get themselves smacked by a 7, right? You can add, go 10v7 and break. Do these crosses all connect? That's also would be something useful to know, right? Anytime you see something like this, it's like, does Veneer hit Valthondir? I can't even pronounce it. Similarly, does Elven City connect to Grimness Mole? I should know this stuff. It should be obvious. Back to Rousseau. Okay, so once we kind of refute the basic premise that there are too many people and that is the root cause of alienation. No, there's one of the causes of alienation, sure. But you also have to engage with the idea that if there are too many people, then you might be one of those too many people, and then you don't deserve the right to exist, which is not the argument that I would want to make or choose to make, right? So, now, Rousseau was speaking about democracy. Now, if you guys are familiar with kind of how I like to approach conversations about democracy, I am under absolutely no illusion that we live in one, right? We are free to choose, but we're not free to choose anything meaningful, right? We're free to choose shitty leader A or shitty leader B, okay? And leader is in our quotes. We are free to choose between, what color dildo fucks you in the ass. We can't choose to not get fucked in the ass, so it's not a real choice. You're getting fucked in the ass. You get to choose the color. And we argue about the color to such a massive extent. It's like a television program. We spend so much time in argument, in contention about what color is right and what color is wrong. It shocks me. And that is where I feel alienated, right? Because the thing that I would aspire to regarding democracy is that I could have a meaningful choice. But, it's not it's not so easy. Particularly at scale. And I think this is where Rousseau hits the nail on the head, is that in order for all of us to mutually have choice that matters, who's going to take them all because he's a greedy prick, right? Just going to take them all. Well, that's when you get set smacked. You don't have a set. I was going to say you get set smacked, but he doesn't get set smacked. So trying to... Oh, does he leave my bonus as a thank you? Okay, well, that's nice of you, I guess. Maybe he wants me to open the 4 so he can hit back. No, he just wants to be in a single position. Okay. Fine. So because we cannot meaningfully choose, we are put into a state of alienation, right? And one of the things that is a root cause of that is there are a lot of people, but there's more to it than that. There are vested interests. Does white give me a line to kill purple? No, white continues the block. There are vested interests in us not being free. And fair enough, right? We've had systems of oligarchy in the past. We've had systems of monarchy. Monarchy is, historically speaking, the most common form of human government. Ooh, the yellow bot might also be available here. And purple is down to 8 troops. Do they set on 4? Okay, so only societies where true democracy is possible were the Greek, Polish, and Swiss cantons. Sure. I mean, one of the things that we haven't tried at scale is the thing I often like to talk about as far as a design-based solution to the fact that we don't have democracy is the idea that representational democracy is anachronistic. It is based on old technology where people had to go in person to a place to vote. And now that we've extended the franchise from, wealthy male landowners of a certain race to women, to people of different ethnicities, backgrounds, to people who don't own land. At every step in which the franchise has been extended, those who get to choose become more numerous, but the choice they make does not become more meaningful. So one of the ways you do that is you eliminate the representative and you say, this is my phone. I have one. You have one. Everyone you know has one. And it can represent me digitally, virtually, and by proxy. And there's a good reason why you've never heard this idea from anyone other than me. And that's where the conspiracy hat gets put on and taken off immediately, right? Because I don't suggest that there's any sort of ulterior motive. There's just a vested interest in keeping those in power, keeping status quo, right? You can immediately see how that would be true. But, proof of concept, having something akin to the cell phone party where party members could choose to vote. He's going to smack my 8 now. No. Blue is now nice to me. He's going to smack my 8. He is going to smack my 8. Oh, I'm so confused. Okay, this board has now really locked up into its positions. White sets. I can kill purple, but the best kill is yellow. Does white take the yellow kill? I should survive here, and I get the biggest trade. If white doesn't take the yellow kill, I do. Okay, so what is the actual question? So we spoke about Rousseau, we spoke about democracy. You added in happiness, which I think is interesting. So this is quoting again, Moverino, I've never let go of the thought that mass society is the cause of alienation and basically individual unhappiness. I think defining happiness here is essential. What does happiness mean to you? Why are you unhappy? I think one of the things that this world gives us is it gives us the ability, it gives us unprecedented ability. It gives us power to an extent that we are not used to. We're certainly not designed for. Please don't hit my 8. Please don't hit my 8. Please don't hit my 8. No, it's a taker. Okay. Should be fine. Maybe purple gets the yellow kill. In which case my set will be bigger. Straight line for purple. Looks like he's going for it. 13 to kill 9? No, doesn't go for it. Okay. Great. We're going to second the yellow kill and set again. Who do we kill after that? Anyone kind of on the lineup to kill purple, perhaps? Yeah, that actually seems like a great idea. Can we sequence this? Can we sequence this whole game from this position? Probably. Total troops for white are 43. We're just getting 35 now? We can't kill blue, though. We lined up on blue. Well, these are always very satisfying when you get them. Those prog sequence games. Killing red doesn't set me. And the diagonals do work. Let's get a little bit of good dice. Fair enough. Okay, we're almost there. A little bit better dice would have had this game locked down. He does have 7-3. Good for you, Alcad. Do you kill red and assure yourself second, or do you try to play to win? Looks like attempt to play to win. Gotta respect it. You get to my 27. We don't have cards here. So if you're blue, what do? Right? Do you choose to go for the 27 and leave some bonuses unbroken, or do you go for the bonuses because you're a noob? He goes for the bonuses. I'm not surprised. Cool. All right. We should get there then. Okay, so how do I define happiness? For me, happiness is emergent upon the striving towards my goals rather than the achievement of those goals. What does that mean? Well, the first thing is that I don't think of happiness as an end. And I think we are incepted culturally to think of happiness as the goal, right? What's the meaning of life? What's the point of life? Is the point of life to be happy? Sure. How do I get there? Well, I have found that it is less about striving towards happiness and more about striving towards achievement, success, connection. I get that kill. Maybe I don't. Ooh, this is a hard kill. I have to try. Oh, this is a hard kill. That bot ran for me. Whew, it was that close, folks. We get there now, though. Yeah, so I find myself to be the happiest when I am working hard at achieving my goals. Less so than in the accomplishment of those goals. With a well played from blue. Good game, buddy. So, when you say something like happiness is impossible because of a large number of people, that just doesn't ring true for me at all. Right? I think at this point in human history, we have access to more amazing, interesting things to do with your time than ever before. And one of the beautiful things about this gift of life that you've been given is you get to choose what to do with your time. So rather than pessimistic thought, we have an optimistic thought because we are graced by the Schmopus man. Hello. And he would like to share the root of my optimism, which is, it's actually very simple. Wow, defeating nobody good at all. The root of my optimism comes down to logic. And I say, if you could choose, what would you choose? That's the question. Would you choose to aspire to live in the best world? Would you choose to build the best future for yourself that you could? And you will find yourself to have done this over the course of your life. When you get up in the morning, when you take care of your health, when you spend time with those you love. You do this subconsciously, perhaps, but you do this. You invest in yourself. So it is actually illogical to be a pessimist, right? We can be realistic. We can prepare for the worst as needed. But optimism is a choice. And once I finally got to the bottom of that, I've never been happier in my life. Truly. I've never been happier in my life, and I wish that for everyone. And I hope to share that with everyone. And I wish I could get into more detail, but yeah, I mean, pessimism is illogical. If you're doomed, you're doomed. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't work towards pessimism. You can't work to benefit yourself if you're doomed. But the opposite is also true. If you're not doomed, you can work at that infinitely. And at least for me, the working towards my highest goals are the things that cause myself to be happy. It is what causes the happiness to emerge. That was Roots of Yggdrasil, the very first of the Viking Legends map pack. I like it. I like it more than I thought I would. 42 territories. Sorry, that's not Roots of Yggdrasil. It's Yggdrasil, the World Tree. Yggdrasil, the World Tree. I definitely don't like it more than Dracon, so it's in the C tier. I definitely don't like it more than any of these weird, cool maps, so it's here. Right there. In fact, I like it less than GPO and more than Lunar Mining Facility. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please, Moverino, if you have a follow-up question, throw it up. I would love to talk about this more. I feel like the question was too broad. So maybe I went into different tangents and it wasn't particularly coherent. And if so, I apologize, but I do appreciate all of your questions. And if you have them, throw them up in the Q&A thread on the Discord, and I will get to them in priority sequence. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in getting better at the Game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to the channels and come along the ride with me. I have a daily show on YouTube. I do weekday streams on Twitch, and for all of you on the path to world domination, good games and good luck.